Yes, I live in North Devon, southwest England. The nearest big city would be Exeter or Bristol. And when Barber first came to the West, he said, "Love calls me to the West." He came to Combe Martin. He came to London, and he came to Combe Martin and stayed in the retreat with Meredith Starr and Margaret Crask. And was Kitty Davey there, Tanya? Kitty Davey. Come and sit on the stairs. Oh, she's hiding. Anyway, yeah, that's
So describe again your view.
Oh, well, if you look out the window to my right, we've got 3 floors. It's a tall, narrow town cottage. And you've got a view right across the river with a big bridge, and then in the distance are the moors and some coastline on the edge of the estuary. And then beyond that, there's Lundy Island one way, and there's the moors this way. It takes you to Exmoor, where Barber stayed in 1931 and 32, I think it was, when he came to England, and stayed with Meredith Starr in the retreat. And he walked all around, you know, the Lower Hangman, the Great Hangman, all around that area when he stayed at Combe Martin. And the house is still there, the farmhouse.
And you said your cottage was 400 years old?
About that, yeah. It had when we moved in, we had no inside toilet, no hot water, no heating, not really much of a kitchen, no bathroom, and I was pregnant. Wow. So quite difficult.
Were you barefoot?
I'm barefoot sometimes. I gave birth in the next room. Yeah.
My goodness, at home.
Excuse me.
Well, home births, you know, I have my babies at home.
That's amazing. And you said it's a fishing village.
Yeah, it's biggish. It's more like a town.
But you live in the centre. You live in the centre of it, which was essentially the village to start.
Yeah, you're right. And it's got connections with America, because all these boats went to America, you know, and all these big connections with the States. Bideford used to be an important trading.
Yes. Hmm. Who's that Indian princess? Can you remember? Or Indian?
Hunters.
She came to Bideford, and they also did some carvings, and they are in a house of a friend of ours. So it's a very old trading town. Still is, really, isn't it, Jan?
Yeah, we still do quite a lot,
yeah.
Avatar, Meher Baba, Ki Jay. Let's welcome everyone worldwide to the Poet Spotlight on Jan Coutu. Am I saying that correctly, Jan?
Yeah, Jan Coutu.
Coutu, okay. Jan comes to us from North Devon in the southwest of England. It's not far from Combe Martin, where Mayor Baba had his first trip to the West, and retreat that was arranged by Meredith Starr and attended by many of the soon-to-be Mayor Baba followers, the early Westerners. She has been consciously with Baba since 1976. While in college, her Baba contact was Michael da Costa in Norwich. Jan has always loved poetry, especially mystical poetry. For the past 5 or 6 years, she's gotten her up around 4 a.m. to sit in silence. And her quote is, invariably, words stream in, whole chunks of poems arrive. So she writes them down, rarely changing or working on them very much at all. And I wanted to point out that that is the time that Baba identified in the morning as the time that he's available. And I learned this week that it's called the Brahma Muhurtan time. I probably murdered that, but it's available to all of us. You know, Baba never comes and never goes. And so her work is a result of just sitting in silence with Baba every day. And that is such a good example for us. Jan is an artist, so we're going to get to see some of her work. She works mainly in mixed media, pastels, vibrant inks, watercolor, sometimes in batik and silk paintings. And she's going to alternate reading and showing her work. She had a book that's no longer in print, and it's Fragments of Light, poems by Jan Coutu, and I got a hold of it at Sherryar, and so I have really enjoyed having it. But she has reams and reams of poetry, so sometime we hope we'll figure out a way for them to become available to us. The format is she's just going to take over. I may give her a couple of breaks. I've got a couple of poems to read while she gets a sip of tea or something. And at the end, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions, speak to what moves you, what resonates, and that sort of thing. So, Jan, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Gail. If it wasn't for Gail, I wouldn't be here. You came across my book and you encouraged me. And then I watched you all talking about me on Spotlight, which is very strange. But thank you. I'm quite touched by that. Yeah, I mean, I can't say I sat down at 4 o'clock and thought, right, I'm with Barbara now. I actually sometimes was very depressed and couldn't sleep. And I was up at 4 feeling pretty dreadful. And then gradually, Barbara started sort of creeping into the room. So I can't say I sat down inspired immediately, but that was many years ago. And it's gradually become, now I've got probably 200 poems in the last year. I don't know, 3 a day. They just come. So, and I don't think about the quality in particular, I just write it down. And sometimes I put it in a file and put it away. So if it hadn't been for Gail, I wouldn't have been, I had been thinking of doing a second book. But so, yeah, the first one, you discussed this picture, Gail, at your last Spotlight. Now that was Phoenix Rising. I just had a rather depressed time and I did a batik and I felt like I was, the Phoenix rising out of the ashes. But one of your friends, it wasn't Diana, was it Elizabeth, said she thought it was like a Native American dream catcher. And it is a bit like that too, but I just did it. I didn't think. So this is one poem from my first book, The Fragments of Light, and the others will all be new ones. So, step forward into the light. The day will come, the day will surely come, when we step into light, to never lose it, to remain in its protection evermore, no darkness penetrating, to shine with him. Light at our back and front and sides. To be so full of light, we are immune to darkness. To be so fully his, we can't fall back into a past of sadness or regret. We sleepwalk through our lives, eyes closed to our possibilities, not knowing our potential to be free, to live more fully and to live with more love. Blind, we carry treasure that we never see. The day will come, our day will surely come, when we step forward into light, to see it is around us and within us, above, below, to establish ourselves in light, to never lose it, no darkness penetrating, to be so full of light, remain in its protection and never leave, immune to darkness and to shine with light. So yeah, that's Fragments of Light is the book. I've got the original. I'm going to sound out. Oh, look, stop playing the piano. My husband's playing the piano downstairs. Maybe he's turned it off. He's got glass, I'm afraid, but that is the Fragments of Light. It's the Alhambra. It's the Arabic baths in the Alhambra in Granada. And if you stand in the archway, the light falls on you. And sometimes when you're in a church and the light breaks through the stained glass, and sometimes when you're with Barbara, he just lights you up.
Perfect.
So, wow. This is a bigger one. This is when you're all lit up and inspired, and Barbara's just sort of lighting you up, and you're just reaching up for heaven or joyful, blissed out.
Beautiful.
That's just a quick one. It didn't take long. That was done in pastels with a vibrant ink wash. But it also is an image of a place I go called Chalice House, where people meditate and pray together. So that's sort of what I saw there. So I've got a couple about sitting at 4 in the morning, which is, yeah, my usual time. Sometimes it's been 2:30 in the morning, but that's a bit early. What I found was when Barbara first started coming in that way, I used to sit in the dark, wrapped in a blanket in the winter in my front room, and I'd light a little nightlight by Barbara's picture, and I found sometimes it was like the rays of light, tiny rays of light were coming out of the candle and almost touching my heart. They seemed to come, and it was right by Barbara's picture, and I thought, oh, it's almost like he's coming in. And then it was like he was somewhere in the house trying to get nearer me, and then it was like he was outside the door, and then he was sort of in the room. It took months, but that's how it felt. It felt like it was getting closer and breaking through. So whether it was me breaking through or him, I don't know. So night watch. Awake since early morning. It's still the middle of the night. I cannot sleep. I am awake. This is a candlelit vigil. I'm keeping watch, waiting for you. I'm looking up into an ink black sky, no moon, one lonely star, a peaceful night. I want to tear the veil. It is so quiet here, like velvet. I'm sitting here wrapped in my cloak. Your absence makes me restless. I'm on the move inside. I'm traveling through my deep passageways. I will not stop until I find you. I walk from room to room in search of you. I'm opening internal doors. I have become so restless. I'm breaking through. You have become my one obsession. You are slowly filling me, my heart, my mind. I'm making space for you. Things have to leave. But when I'm quiet and when I'm still, when I forget myself, you look at me, I look at you, your eyes, and then your presence fills my room. This is a quiet, silent vigil. I'm keeping night watch with you while you watch over the whole wide world. So that was a few days ago. I didn't know what to do, Gail. I just chosen mainly very recent ones, just the last 2 weeks, really. 10th of August, this one. 3 poems in 40 minutes they came. So this tenderness, they're short. Tenderness. There is a time when quietness descends, softness surrounds, and tenderness spreads out like the dawn's rays. I love these times, the velvet intimacy when he arrives, takes up his seat near me. I nearly pass away. What is happening to me? I am dissolving. I am dissolving like sugar in a glass. I am dissolving like sugar in a glass when he comes near to me. Sometimes he even stays. And then a few minutes later, this one came, waiting for you. Sometimes I lie and wait for you, open my heart, quieten my mind, spread out my carpet, settle down to watch the moon and stars above. I'm listening for your steps. I know you'll come. There is no hurry to this. I can wait for as long as it takes. You may not come today, but I have all the time in the world. At times like this, I can encircle you and draw you near. You are becoming more available, accessible. How can it be that sometimes I watch and wait and then you come? I'm getting to know your ways as you become more familiar to me. I know what helps to bring you near. Silence and darkness or soft light. Listening, sadness, prayers. I talk to you, all peace and quiet. But sometimes you are unbearable. You fill my room and I can hardly hold you or contain you, and you are a wild, wild thing. But at times like this, I know what summons you and thins the veil. And then, I don't know, a few minutes later, this one came, Shapeshifter, Shifting Sands. You never stay the same, you shift, you change. You are in hiding, in the desert, wrapped in a cloak. You have withdrawn into a great dark tent with all the mysteries. You throw out keys. I'm searching in the sand. The tent comes up quite a lot. I mean, it's quite a Sufi image. I had a dream, well, it felt like a vision actually, I was awake, of there being a tent in a park near here, and someone said to me, have you seen the dark blue tent? Obviously, when you think of the colours of the chakras, you know, dark blue, purple. And I said, no, where is it? And they said, over there. Some people can't see it. And suddenly there was this dark blue tent. And I approached it, I was very nervous. It was like a circus tent, it was huge. And I gradually pulled back, and this is as real as anything. I pulled back, like the veil, if you want, you know, the cloth, just pulled it back, and in there was Baba prowling like a lion, absolutely golden and on fire and fierce, frightened me silly. And he was basically saying, don't put bars around me. You know, he was enormous, he was powerful. You know, Baba says, don't keep me in a cage. And that stayed with me. So quite often I think of Baba in that tent. It's a very Sufi sort of nomadic desert father sort of image. And I've done a picture, if I can find it. Where have I put my sketchbook? Oh, where's my sketchbook? And this is, thank you, don't worry. This is the tent. Well, I've done lots of paintings of the tent, but thank you, that's fine. It's, you know, Barbara's in there, and part of us knows everything, and part of us, or it's already there. Barbara says this, we're already complete, but we don't know. These are the sort of third eyes or knowing eyes, with, you know, God, love, planet, whatever. What I wrote on it was, part of me knows, part of it's hidden. The light of consciousness is the eye. So I do quite a lot of tents. This is me meditating with some friends. So we've all got eyes. And, you know, it's a heart. Can you see?
Yeah, it's
Three
beautiful.
people. Yeah, it's getting a bit darker, but that might be a good idea, putting that on.
The color's good. It's strong. That's good. Yeah.
And this is the light of consciousness.
Ah, wow.
So the words in this, well, it's Arabic words. Because I read a lot of Rumi, and I love the calligraphy. So An-Nur, light, in the Coleman Barks translation of the Big Red Book, Rumi. Union is a watery way in an eye, a point of light in the chest, the soul. That's Rumi. And I was feeling submerged, but I knew that somewhere here, you know, we have the light of consciousness coming into us.
Wow.
And then I did a whole series of sea creatures sensing the light. So first of all, there's the moon being caught with its reflection, you know, so we're trying to reflect Barbara, we're trying to give back the light. There's, you know, lots of moons and suns on water. And then I became a jellyfish. That's me, the jellyfish. So that's like infinite, you know, infinite bliss or consciousness at the top. And these are all my tentacles, which are my sanskaras, which are dragging me down. I mean, I probably sound quite mad, but
Oh no. Wonderful.
this is the way I work anyway. So I don't know, does Gail want to read one?
Oh, I can jump in and give you a moment to catch your breath.
Yeah.
This is from your book, Fragments of Light. And as you have noticed, light is one of the big themes that Jan continues to explore. It's called Reveal Yourself. Roll back the constellations and part the curtains of the stars. Illuminate the sky with suns and moons. Flood us with light. Reveal yourself to me for just a moment. I need your presence now. I have waited all these lifetimes to see you and be with you. I fell in love with you so very long ago, and I cannot bear this constant waiting. I want to run to all the corners of the earth, dive into the oceans, fly into the sky, searching for you. When will our meeting be? Don't keep me earthbound, tethered here below. You are the one who hides in every form, is behind every form, resides in every heart. Now you are slowly breaking through to me. Please show yourself. Give me your presence now. I cannot bear this weight. I only want to be with you. Now that I've found you, I can find no rest. I cannot bear this ceaseless agitation. What is my life but an eternal waiting for you to manifest? I have waited all my lifetimes to see you and to be with you. I fell in love with you so very long ago. Please don't forget me. Don't neglect me. Reveal yourself to me for just a moment. I need your presence now.
Oh,
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you for reading it. I was just thinking, you know, this idea of the sanskaras and all our patterns and how they hold us back. And I was thinking about, I made a list of my sanskaras a while ago and I got quite depressed. So I thought, I know, be more positive. So I thought all of my, you know, patterns and traits that I'm not very happy about. Obviously, I've got some good ones, but I thought, well, I could build a bridge to Barbara. Am I showing you the right one? Yeah. So Barbara's at the top, and this is the bridge. This is made up of all the sanskaras, and there's water and there's space. And the poem is very short, the bridge. Barbara says, utilize this path of love that is fully open to mankind now. So that is really the path of love, but it's all, you know, it's me trying to build blocks to reach him. Barbara says, during my manifestation and for some time after I drop my body, the high road of all roads of inner development is love. That road is now fully open to the aspiring seeker during the remainder of the lifetime of the avatar and for some time after, and should be used. So what I wrote was, because Barbara says, utilize this path of love now. So I thought, well, it's like a bridge. When the mind stops, the heart opens and the song begins. This is just the beginning of the end. We are building a bridge to you with all the pieces of ourselves that we've left behind. It takes so many lives for its completion. It is a golden bridge, a bridge of light. It's starting to appear. When it is done, this bridge will arc across the sky. So Barbara's at the top and we're building our bridge to him. So that was quite a strong image. The other image I had was just burning all the bits I didn't like about myself. So being a house on fire.
Wow.
I mean, it's like a child's drawing. It's nothing sophisticated. It's what I was feeling. It's just wax, you know, it's pastels and a bit of colour wash. But that's what I was feeling. I want to get back to the bare bones and be strong, you know, survive the fire, Barbara's fire.
Colors are magnificent. Color. Ooh, strong. Yeah.
So this one's quite interesting. This was Barbara really bossing me about in this one. So Inconstancy is my one, and then Barbara's comes in a bit later. Inconstancy. Another morning, it's 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. I awake and light a candle to you in the dark, the light against the dark. I light a candle by your picture, and you look at me. And then I look away. My body's sitting here, but my mind leaves. It goes away. It wanders off to other places, and so I go. I have departed. You remain. I meant to stay. I left so quickly while you wait so patiently for my return. Where is my focus and my faithfulness? I am so light. I am so easily blown away. I've gone away to somewhere else. I've left. You stay. While you remain as steady as a rock, I have escaped. After all these years and where you've taken me and what you've given me, it still comes down to this, inconstancy. I'm sorry, I keep leaving you and covering you in me. I'm lost. I'm lost for words. Please find me. Come and claim me. Make me yours. And the next one is Don't Limit Me. These again, 3 and 40 minutes. Don't limit me. I know that I limit and confine him in me. He is within me, but I'm so small and limited. He frightens me, which he does, with his enormity. I approach him so cautiously. I only touch the edge of him. I can't bear more. If he revealed himself to me, I'd pass away. That's what he wants. I have to lose myself to find him. I need to pass away. And then the next one came, this is Barbara speaking. Don't confine me. Do not confine me. I am not out there. I'm in here. And I'm everywhere. I'm limitless. I'm infinity, eternity. Don't restrict and limit me. Don't try to tame me. Don't put me in a bottle labeled with a name. I am so much more, and I will not be confined. I am the ancient one. I am the spirit of antiquity, the spirit of the future and of now. The best is yet to come. Don't limit me. Don't hold back from me. You need to merge with me. You're playing at the edge of me. You're keeping yourself safe. You're failing to descend into the depths of me, rise to the heights of me. You have to lose yourself in me and find yourself in me. You have to merge with me. So he gets quite tough and confrontational. And sometimes Barbara's power just breaks through. I'm trying to think if I've got another picture to show. Yeah, there's some nice ones of birds in a minute, really joyful ones. Thank you. I've got presence and absence, which I think maybe we'll all relate to. Presence and absence. These are the hard days of summer that feel like winter in my soul. Days when I'm feeling so alone. Withdraw inside myself to search for you. I need to be with you, alone. Cast everything away. Let me be free. You are the only place I want to be. At times like this, I have to go on trust. I cannot see. So many stars gone out and there's no moon. The lights upon the inner path shine weakly. Please hold my hand. Where are you taking me? Into the passageways of self, the labyrinth of me. Sometimes it is so dark, I need more light. We have to travel far and dig so deep inside ourselves. I'm looking for the thread that guides me on. This is a chapter in the book of me. The pages turn. Sometimes we travel through dark valleys and low ground, no sight of sun or sky or moon. You wax and wane in me. You These are the rhythms of my life. I can get so attached to light and joy. I love the bliss, but you don't stay. You're playing hide and seek. I'm seeking you again. I must never take you for granted, but sometimes I know I do. Forgive me. I know you well. I know your ways. One day you will return to me. So that's that whole divine, you know, the Leela, the he's here, he's gone. I'll show you some nice, oh, this is quite a jolly one. This is Feeling Joyful with Barbara. Dancing, in stream, out stream, it's called. It's just all the light coming in, all the light going out, dancing with Barbara and joy. Max's, I can see Max's face. You do colourful stuff, don't you? It actually came from a Hafiz. The earth lifts its glass to the sun and light is poured. I was full of joy and I just did that very quickly. Wow. Just dancing in light. Just a quick one. I've done lots of birds. Let me show you some birds. These are all, I had an experience about a month ago where all the doors inside me were open and light was circulating. And my son had taken this photo of a bird of prey, rather lovely. And I was doing all these birds. They were just circulating all around me. The light was just flying about. Ever so simple pictures. That one and then that one I gave them crowns. They're like angels or messengers, you know, between heaven and earth, the birds, aren't they? Inka did a print from it for me with her design skills, and I did then I was doing all birds and blossoming, and you know, some of these are collages. So there's a bird at the top, and some of them are photographs. If I haven't got any good ideas, I just make something up. There's, you know, bursting open, heart opening to Barbara. The opening, that's the opening, and then just, you know, all these birds on the move, flight, flying in his sky. So here we are. More days. This is just, yeah, this is June. Give me more days like these when I am moved, when you arrive and I am moved to tears. But when you come to me, you touch me deep inside, where nothing else can reach. You touch the soul in me, and you have found a place in me where longing makes me turn in circles and arabesques, one hand towards the earth, the other pointing to the sky. The dervish in me turns, a sort of ecstasy, head in the clouds, with both feet on the ground, which is an experience maybe a lot of us have had where we're so full of joy. Our heads are way up there, but our feet are on the ground. I'm just going to try and find a bird poem, and then maybe I can't see where I put my bird poems. Hang on. Don't worry. I'll do all of the highs and lows, which links with flying and descending. All of the highs and lows. I know all the highs and lows of you. I travel to your heights and to your depths. I fly so high that I come crashing down and I go in between. Yes, I know all your effects. I know all your effects. You've left your mark on me. I came into your contact long ago. It only took one touch from you and I was yours. One more and you were mine. This is the beginning of the end of me. This is my waiting time. Now all I can do is dream and write love songs to you. One day, one kiss, and I'll be yours, and you'll be forever mine. Quite romantic. So, Gail, would you like to read another one? I can't hear you. Sorry.
I'll jump in. This is one you sent to me recently, written around August 12th, so quite recent, called The Soul Turns. There is light and dark and day and night. And in between, within that space, the soul turns. I look each way, and wonderfully, sometimes he turns to me. In me, there are no words. I will never feel good enough for him, but he still visits me. And then she's got 2 quotes below. First from Kabir. My Lord conceals himself, and my Lord wonderfully reveals himself. And from Rumi, the wound is where the light comes in. And I'll jump in and say, you talked about loving Rumi. We're going to have a poet spotlight on Rumi this Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But it's just amazing. A lot of times she's got quotes. She's got some from Darwin Shaw. It's just the tapestry of all your work together is so Baba-ful. It's blessed, and it's awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I love that. The wound is where the light gets in. If I hadn't had some of the suffering and trauma I had, I wouldn't have been open to him. You know, it's the way in. I wouldn't invite it, but it's there, and I'm glad of it. I look back and I think, well, that stopped me being complacent or coasting. But for all of us, it can be very painful. Thank you for reading, Gail. This was a picture I did recently, ever so quick. It's just, can you see? It's the Buddha's face, and bits of paper. Is called Uncovering the Buddha Within. It's just pieces of paper. When I was meditating once in the morning in our conservatory, I looked across to the wall opposite in our walled garden, and I saw the Buddha's face. And it's just getting daylight. I could see the Buddha's face. And as it got lighter, I realized actually it was my face reflected in the window. And I thought, we're all Buddha within. Baba says we're all complete. You know, we don't see it. Sometimes we see it in others, like when you meet Eric or Darwin or Marnie, you know, you see that he's almost totally revealed in them. There's a poem here with Eric in that I've just done, 18th August. And it's about the alchemy, the effect that he has, you know, changing us, the transformation. And when you see it in people like Marnie and Eric, Darwin, you know, these people that, I mean, I found it with Phyllis Ott. I just cried when I was with her. You know, I could see, you see things in people. You see Baba in people. So seeing alchemy at work. Sometimes it seems it's possible for people to transform. We look, we see the change before our very eyes. Love is the great transformer. It can change us over time. There's alchemy at work. I recall once being with Eric sitting in Mandalay Hall. The stillness of the room, the air alive. Our hearts so open we could hardly breathe. Eric sat beside us, our well-loved companion and our inspiration. I asked, does it get easier over time? But we could see it in his eyes, his smile. And he replied, no, sister, it gets harder, but we would not have it any other way. We breathed and waited. He went on to say, what can we do but love him? But this love is killing me. We saw the alchemy at work before our eyes, his golden touch. You know, obviously, you know, the ego is gradually worn away when you're with him a long time. You just meet these people and they inspire you and give you hope. This one, I think I wrote dedicated to Gail, didn't I? This one, Gail. his two hands, because he's been so generous to me recently. So it's not one hand, but sometimes he takes things away with the other, of course. So he uses both hands, one to give and one to take away. Once long ago, one stormy night, when I called out to him, he stretched so far, he broke right through to me. I was so far away, but he held out his hand to me. Since then, he never fails me. Sometimes his hands are holding me, sometimes they're raising me. He picks me up, he wipes away my tears. Sometimes he even carries me. Right now, amazingly, he's using both his hands, giving his love to me. His generosity has grown so wide, it's limitless. I have to try to empty so I can fill with him. Yes, he is filling me with love and tenderness. He pours. His beautiful hands surround me. So, yeah, I've probably read enough things. There's so many. Maybe
Oh no, not at all. Thank you so much for that, dedicating that to me. But oh no, we're
Yeah.
eager for more. Eager.
Are you? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the chat is disabled so nobody can make comments?
Is it?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to, make comments and you can't for me.
Right.
Sorry.
We have some comments here. Oh, okay.
Mine says it's disabled. I don't know.
I haven't seen any. So
Oh, I don't know what.
I haven't seen any comments.
I love your work while I'm unmuted. Your work is beautiful and your
Oh.
poetry. Yeah,
Oh.
I totally identify with your work. Yeah,
Oh.
wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry to
you.
interrupt, but I couldn't chat.
No,
So.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to
Jan?
say,
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead, Max.
to me, this is one of the best introductions to Baba that I've ever, not just introduction, but all the way in. And I would recommend it to everyone. It reminded me of Jean Adriel's book, Avatar. It's you make it so, you communicate so much and so deeply and so powerfully, both with images and words. And obviously the words lead to what's behind the words. I'm just in awe. I'm so happy I came. So that's all.
Max, thank you. That's so kind. Oh, well, I got a couple more then. Comet, this is last week. Comet, you flashed across our sky just like a fiery comet, incandescent. You made your radiant presence known, your brilliance. You are the harbinger of joy. You stir our memory. So we awakened from our slumber. We remembered the great amnesia of who we really are. As we look up, you raise our consciousness. We thought we were so low, but we are really light beings. So now we make a net of stars around you in a deep blue sky. Yes, we surround you one by one by one. We even start to shine. You cracked us open. That's where the light comes in and enters, and where it stays and grows. All of our darkness is leaving us. This is the ending of our dark night of the soul. But we have seen a glimpse of you, a revelation and a realization. We feel such gratitude, our debt to you. We feel so very small and limited. Part of us always knows and knew. We have been waiting and anticipating for so many years. We recognize you now, you've come again. The pain and joy you bring, 1,000 tears for this world's sufferings, creates a flood. We feel you are so active as you stir the light. Bringer of hope and gladness. Once touched, we open and we try to hold you, but we cannot contain you. We are too small. We overflow. Nobody really knows or understands me except you. How can I even begin to speak of you? There are no words. All I can say is you are pouring love and light into the universe. You're holding us in your two hands. I know and feel your love for planet Earth goes on and on and on. This is the flood tide of creation, and we are witnesses. And then I found a Barber quote. The real light, brackets God. And this is Barber. The brilliance and splendor of the real light, the luster of the original light, God. One has to be merged in it in order to experience it. And one merges in it when, after throwing to the winds one's individual self, one realizes one's universal self, which one really is. You are that original light, but you have to realize that. I love this bit. Just a glance from me can be all you need, can turn your vision inward. If I knock at your door and you're asleep, I will go away. That's how it is. I think this might be the last one I read, but that's up to you. I love Tibetan Buddhism. I love the Dalai Lama. I've often felt very familiar with Tibet. So I've put on Mani Padme Hum, the jewel in the heart of the lotus, as part of this. So again, this was Barbara. Place me at the center of everything. Let all doubts drop away. Make me your total focus. Open your heart and mind, for I am limitless. I manifest. Do not discard the smallest thing, the darkest place, for I am there, and I shine light on everything. I have the Midas touch. There are no boundaries, there is no separation, for I am everywhere. Now notice me and see me, I am hidden, just waiting to be found. I am the jewel in the heart of the lotus. Om Mani Padme Hum. I'm found in wealth and poverty, in sickness and disease, in suffering and joy, and in the depths of despair. I always find you where you are. My name is written in the stars, the sun and moon. I am the endless ocean. Your call to me is but an echo of my call to you. We resonate. You draw me to you, but I drew you to me so long ago. Place me at the center of everything. Drop all the confines, the limits of your mind. Allow me to expand. Let me expand in you. This is our time. My voice is heard in silence. I speak the word. I have been singing to you through the ages. Now come in tune with me so you can hear me. Now, let me sing in you. Okay, Barbara.
Yes. Splendid. I'm going to read a couple more because we're just eager, and maybe you'll get your second wind and will think of either something from your sketchbook or something else to read. Maybe it will prompt you because we are
I don't want to bore
thirsty.
people. You know, I've been talking a lot. So no, go
You
on,
are
Gail.
not
Okay.
boring anyone. Okay, I'm going to read His Generosity, and it's followed by a couple of quotes from Darwin Shaw's Effort and Grace. I love how you weave all of this together. His generosity. His generosity knows no bounds. He sends me signs and friends along the way who see me and who understand. Companions who see the inner part of me, and I see them. This path can be so solitary. Sometimes we draw a cloak around us and we wait. He has awakened me, and he continues. I go to sleep. He still awakens me from time to time. It is so slow, so gradual. Sometimes I go to sleep and dream. Sometimes I go to where it is real. Then I return. He knows all of my timings. all my openings up and closing down, and all of the veils in me, the ones I want to tear away. He makes me wait, be patient. He sustains me. He is so generous and kind. For once, he noticed me. He did not forget me, and he continues to remember me. I know his love for his creation never stops. He lights my way. Sometimes he lights me up. And then the quotes from Effort and Grace by Darwin Shaw. We must dare to live at a higher level of consciousness. And then the second quote from Darwin. I would find myself swimming in the ocean of light and love. I would experience an instantaneous lifting of veils so I could see more directly within. Inner realms of his being would be revealed to my consciousness, and I would have the experience of seeing God everywhere. This is magnificent. Thank you, Jan. It looks like maybe you have something else to share. We are far from bored. We are leaning forward, thirsting. Give a thumbs up if you want to hear more. Show us, if you want to hear more, give us a thumbs up on Zoom so she can see.
I can't see anything. Where is that?
Okay.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
lots of thumbs up. Lots of thumbs up.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, this links in with Darwin. I found this, I got terribly excited. It's from Bow's book, Mayor Barbara Manifesting. And I hadn't seen it before, or I didn't register it. Barbara's saying the 7 doors. You all know this, I'm sure, but it was new to me. The 7 doors, my abode is infinite. It is formless, but there are 7 doors in my abode. Each door remains closed to all those bound in illusion. So I did this picture with doors, and these are the people with their back to the door here. If you want most people, and we were like that, and we're slowly turning to the door with the light coming through. So the aim of involution is to open these 7 doors and experience my divinity. The first door is extremely difficult to open. All the kingdoms of evolution stand at this door. Humanity has its back to this door. All faces are turned towards illusion. Humanity is the nearest kingdom to this door. I have come to open these 7 doors. I work to cut a hole in the first door. That door leads to the first plane. This cutting in the door is my work during this lifetime. I went mad when I read this. And this few years ago now, and I recently did some work on it. So this is like the first door. And Barbara's there, you know, it's just a church or a ruined abbey. This is Barbara streaking across the sky, or it could be me incarnating. It's got planets and moons and stars. And then, you know, there's all these doors. That's the second door there. And they're just things I've cut out. This is Arabic calligraphy, the hidden, because he's hiding, you know, and these are all the doors we've got to find in all our many lives and cross. So that became quite a thing for me, that most of humanity has its back to the door. Barbara's cutting a hole in the door. The light is coming through. It's up to us to receive it and change and transform. And I wrote this one in 2017 that links in with it, actually. Light beings. It's in my little book. It is our destiny to become the light, to disappear and reappear as light. So obviously our ego is disappearing. To disappear and reappear as light. We feel the light break through on all sides. At first it shimmers, then becomes incandescent. We are ignited, illuminated. In time we feel the ecstasy, the bliss. We step into pools of light. Immersed, we feel a love within them. It shines. It holds us and sustains us and moves us on. These pools are stepping stones to him. We stand in sacred spaces and we feel a light break through the windows and the ceiling from above. Coloured light refracted, rainbow rays. It floods us, lifts us. We are dazzled and amazed. We stand in a river of light, shining gold. Surrounded on all sides, it quickens us. Touched by its life-giving presence, its embrace. Immersed in delight, we drown. One day we will ourselves become the light. Light beings, transparent and radiant. We will be filled with nothing else. We will disappear and reappear as light. He will illuminate us. We step into pools of light, immersed. We feel a love within them, it shines. It holds us and sustains us, moves us on. These pools are stepping stones to him. It is our destiny to become the light, to disappear and reappear as light. We feel a light break through on all sides. At first it shimmers, then becomes incandescent. We are ignited, illuminated. We feel the ecstasy, the bliss, his bliss.
Just stunningly beautiful, stunningly beautiful. Thank you. Why don't we open it up for people to ask questions or respond to things that have reached their heart? I'll just open the floor up.
I'd like to say thank you, first of all, Jan. It's lovely to hear you read. And I think it's time you published another book. And another time, I would really love it if we could, each and every one, read one of your poems. That would be nice. Yeah, and thank you.
That can be arranged. We can do that. We can we can do that. We'll have to figure out how for some of her poems to get more widely spread. But I know that you don't do Facebook, but maybe we can, some of us, you can send us poems and we can put them on Facebook, on the Baba Zoom Facebook.
I do Facebook. Jan can send them to me and I send them on.
Yeah, I often send you them, don't I, Inky? Yeah.
You do.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, Gail, when there was a discussion group, you know, that you did before with Diana and Elizabeth, someone said, oh, what was that thing that happened to Jan that made it change? Do you remember that great poem? In Surprise, when I wrote in my poem, where was that threshold that I crossed? Was it the pain and darkness that broke my shell? Did it have to be like that, a necessary catalyst? The roof of my ignorance has broken open, and for now at least the sun and light pour in on me, and it feels like a blessing and a joy. Yeah, that was about trauma and pain that cracked me open. And I did physically run out into the stormy night, feeling quite suicidal and desperate, and called out, you know, if there's a God out there, show yourself. And the next day, I saw Baba's picture in the counselling room at Michael DaCosta's counselling room. So there he was.
Can you read that whole poem called Surprise?
Oh, if you want. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Everybody would love to hear it.
Would they? Okay.
Excuse me for 1 second. Inka, can you give us your Facebook page? Do you mind?
Not at all.
What's your last name, dear?
Charters. I'm under Inka Hella. Inka, INGKA.
Yes.
And then HELLA. Charters. CHARTERS.
Thank you so much.
Hella Charters.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And Inka, we'll connect you to the Baba Zoom Facebook page so that you'll see other people posting her things and you can post it there as well.
Okay, do that.
So I'll get up with Jan and she can put me through to you so that we can have more of her things regularly.
Well, there you go. Now then, we often, it's very strange. We've known each other for a very long time, and often quite separately and individually, very similar things happen to us, don't they, Jan?
They do. We have a lot of synchronicity. Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, and wonderful. I
We have
suppose.
similar dreams and intuition.
What, drawings.
Yeah. So surprise. This was written in 2016. To say that I am surprised would be an understatement. To say that I'm amazed still does not capture my feelings of incredulity. But I never knew that it could be like this. The days could pass in so many little joys and loves. That a tree standing so tall and strong could speak to me as it held out its heavy arms effortlessly. That flowers could sparkle with brilliance so quietly, but with such beauty. I used to walk past them all, or sometimes give them a cursory nod, acknowledging their presence. I did not see or hear them as I do now. It's like stepping into another universe, whose colours are more brilliant, sounds more sweet, and where radiant light blesses everything. Where was that threshold that I crossed? Was it the pain and darkness that broke my shell? Did it have to be like that, a necessary catalyst? The roof of my ignorance has broken open, and for now at least, the sun and light pour in on me, and it feels like a blessing and a joy. There's one last one I've just found actually. Now I am lit, because it's about burning, isn't it, really? Do you all find you sometimes burning? You know, it's on fire. It can be quite gentle. Now I am lit. Now I am a fire. I burn. Just sit with me and be with me, and I will come to you in silence. Enjoy my presence. Let me fill the room and fill your life. Let your tears melt you. Let your heart overflow with me. It can hold more. Be brave and let me fill you to the brim. Hold out your cup to me again. I'm lit, I am on fire, I burn with you. You make me restless. I want to run and find you, see you now. Turn on all the lights and stare into the sun. Receive your light, your rays, to get the smallest glimpse of you. Each morning you awake and then remember me. You remember and forget me all day long. You leave me, but know that I never leave you. I am a continuous thread throughout your life. Just stop and breathe me. Take me into you, the heart of you. I am the heart of you. I am lit, I am on fire, I burn. I cannot stand still, I need to run. Run through my life, run through my days to find you. You have set me on fire with you. You are inescapable. I cannot escape from you. But where are you? I need to see you now. Be still, be quiet, and let me fill you with my love, my light. Hold out your cup to me again. The time will come when it will overflow with me, for I shall flood the world. Yeah.
I'm so glad the things we're saying are prompting you to share other things. I'm going to call on Marcia now. Meet Marcia Martz. She is an artist, and you might want to get to know one another. She does beautiful Baba work.
Okay.
Go ahead, Marcia.
Yeah, I would like to get to know you because I do the same thing. I've experienced what you're talking about, but you're really great. But my chat still is disabled. I don't know why. So anyway. But
Is anyone else experiencing that they can't?
I tried on my iPad and my phone, and it says one chat, and on the bottom it says, "How about Marcia?" and then chat disabled way on the bottom. And when I click on it, nothing. And it's on 2 devices, so I don't know what it is. Maybe Baba didn't want me to talk.
No. By the way, it says the wrong spelling for Inca's name. It's Inca Hella Charters,
Oh, sorry.
Charters,
All right.
not Sarters.
Thank you.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask a question, or if you want to close down any comments, whatever, or finish.
Is it raining where you are, Jan? The heavens
a
just
bit.
opened. Just
A little
yeah,
bit, a little bit.
yeah. Oh, it's really, really raining hard.
Raining in Oregon.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you want that to put the fires out?
Yes.
I want to thank Gail for inviting me and for being encouraging. And this man called Kurt Hugh, but I don't think he's here, he found my poetry book and he actually paid for a reprint of it and took some to India and some, to his friends in America. So kind of him. Yeah.
So
Very
is it
kind
still
of
available?
He
Can we
sponsored it.
get the book? Will we be able to get the book, your poems?
I can do a reprint if people wanted them. It's not a problem. I could if people wanted them.
Elaine is a really good artist too. Maybe, I think Baba does send out this kind of, that's the time period, like 4 o'clock, 5 in the morning. I think everybody that's doing artwork maybe get the different shots of the same kind of whatever in different ways,
Yeah.
I would be on the list for wanting one. I'd like one.
Me too.
Would you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I could do a dozen.
One.
Well, the next one's called Radiance, but I've got about 400 poems to choose, so I don't know what to put in it.
All of them.
Wow. Wow.
There's just too many.
Hello, Tiffy.
John has written a beautiful book with John Meyer, who's still on, with photographs and things. Maybe he can give you some insight into putting together a big book, because, and I think maybe we should figure out how to crowdfund it or something so that we could get your artwork too, because we've got the poems, but then when you have your sketchbook and you share that with us, it illuminates so much more. So I am eager to get your work out into the Baba world.
Yeah, it's very kind of you.
Gail, thank you. This is John. My video is interrupted. We're sorry. I have a number of books out, and in fact, I'm a publisher. So I would like to talk to both of you about how to go about that, because I've been doing this for a while and know the ways to get the best quality for the lowest price. Sorry about that, but and how to get the work out. And that's
all right.
Gail, what is your email?
GAYLE,
yeah,
my first name, knits, KNITS, like knitting needles, gailknits@gmail.com.
okay.
And I've got Jan's information, and I have Marcia's too, so I can send Jan's email and I can send Marcia's email to you after we hang up, John. That's a dream come true, is to have somebody who knows how to put it together beautifully, because it's written beautifully. So this is quite a coincidence is when Baba chooses to remain anonymous. But what a nice thing that we've got so many people with different talents. So this is quite a nice happenstance here.
Do you have my email, Gail?
I do not, so I'm going to write it down right now.
It's brilliantlight41@gmail.com.
Oh, that's
okay.
BRILLIANTLIGHT41@gmail. So
Okay.
let's keep in touch, please.
Okay, thanks,
I'm
John.
selling my cards at Sheriar. Sheriar Bookshop sold a lot of my cards. They've just asked me to do, another 10 designs or something. I did one of the, let me show you one of the Samadhi. Just at the back here. I've done one of the Samadhi on silk. Very simple. It was part of a huge one. It had a whole lot of Tibetan mandalas at the top. Thank you. And then this is Baba's Samadhi.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
That's the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the sun, the moon, the stars, and the Samadhi roof, the dome.
Yeah. Wow.
But silk's very good because it glows. Thank you. Yeah, the colours are vibrant.
I write tankers on Baba and illustrate them. And did you get my drawing for today, Jan?
Yeah, Tanya and I got it downstairs. Thank you. Yes,
Oh.
yeah. I think, you know, Baba wakes us up and then he inspires us, and there's so many people being creative, you know, in all different ways, whether it's cooking or gardening or whatever. But there seem to be a lot of people that like to paint and write. So, yeah, I don't
Looks
know
like
how many... Oh, yeah.
Ruthie's showing something. Look at Ruth. What Ruth? Talk, Ruth, so that your picture will come up.
I can see.
Yeah. I show mine.
Yeah. How many people came to this? About 15, did they? I didn't look.
About that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Lovely.
12 are still on.
How are they?
Ruthie, what were you showing, Ruthie? Can you show it again?
Today.
I'm not sure I can unmute.
You're unmuted. You're unmuted
okay.
now. We can hear you, Ruthie.
Oh,
right, darling.
there's that sweet Baba.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Inka, go ahead and show your things. Inka, do you have anything that you've written that you can read to us also?
Not to hand, no, but I've got some drawings.
Wonderful.
Oh, no, I've got to remove spotlight. Here we go. Okay, now. Inka, are you showing?
Oh, I see. That's
yes.
One I did yesterday.
Oh, wow, that's stunning.
That is
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
We did a Zoom workshop with Max, and we are exploring Lynn Ott's paintings, and this is my vague attempt to put my own and copy one of Lynn's paintings.
Hold it up again, darling.
That one.
Oh, yeah. So sweet.
And,
Beautiful.
yeah, but
Splendid.
Pardon?
Splendid.
Thank you. And we that's really kind, but we share, don't we, Jan?
We send things to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I do that with you too?
I was just going to ask.
Yeah, of course.
Quite happy to share. Quite
This
happy.
is I just found this yesterday, and it was funny that you showed.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah, I did it a long time ago, but it just popped up yesterday. I guess that was convenient, right?
Show it. Show it
That's
again.
lovely.
Show it again.
Lovely. Let's see. How do can do spotlight? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I did this a long time ago.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. I did lots of artwork when I was in India, you know, garlands and the dome, and yeah, lovely.
I've been into the sky lately, very much into the moon and the sun and all the water. You know, it's kind of changed. But
yeah.
No.
Inka and Jan, if you go back into the Baba Zoom archives, Marcia Martz showed quite a few of her artwork on a session like this.
Okay.
So you can go back and see the things that she shared at that time.
I'll show you one last picture. It's not mine. I'll show you one.
What is the name of that program, Gail? That Artist View? Is that what it's called?
Do you know what it's called, Marcia?
Yeah, I think I have it on my phone. I kind of saved the recording of it. Yeah, it's on Tuesdays. The artist. It's once a month on Tuesday.
Artist View. I think that's what it is. So that might be good to find.
Thank you, Jan, and thank you.
Can I just say one last thing? This is Phyllis Hogg's painting.
Oh.
And I put myself in it. So it's protecting me.
Oh, that's just lovely, lovely.
And I mean, Phyllis Hock was so helpful to me and such an inspiration. She let me take photos of her paintings, and Inka helped me to put myself in there.
Oh, oh, you must love looking at that.
So thank you, everyone.
Jan, I feel like
let's say Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai 3 times.
okay.
Avatar
Meher Baba Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Baba.
Jan, I feel like we just visited you and had a nice cup of tea and
It's fun.
Glass of wine would be nice. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful art, wonderful
Oh, I hope
poetry.
we see you. See us at
Thank
our
you. Jai Baba.
Jay
Gail, you did a wonderful job presenting this.
You are.
I
You
have
are
to
thanks.
good. Yes.
No, really.
But
Yes.
look what Baba did. Baba brought us John to figure out how to get some of these things out into the world. Baba brought us Betty, who did the tech.
Well,
Baba brought us Inga that we didn't know already. We got to know Jan better.
lovely.
It's just amazing.
It's lovely to have Max here too. His work is
Absolutely. And I tried
Yeah.
to email, I had tried to message him saying, Max, I need to get you in the poet spotlight, but I'll track down Max and get him. But we want to get other people, Inga, get your artwork into that artwork thing if it's still going on. Maybe Marcia knows, or
Yes, that was a lovely painting.
I would just like to share this if I may.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I
It's
tell you
beautiful.
what this is.
is it
Beautiful.
A few years
Sand?
ago, I couldn't. Jan and I were going to Myrtle Beach, and I broke my spine, so I couldn't go.
Oh.
So I said, "Please, Jan, bring me back some sand and some shells," and she did.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sand from Myrtle Beach that Baba probably walked on.
Oh my gosh, that's a lovely.
Yes, it does. Yes.
So and then you photographed it. We're looking at a photograph, right, Inka? Is that it?
Yes, you are. And here is one of my collages that I did not realize that in every flower there is a face of Baba.
Oh,
and
really?
I didn't know that.
Oh, now you have. Can
I'll
you
show
show
you.
us? Yeah. Oh, you have it.
Here's a small one of it, and you can see it there. Wait, you can.
Oh, it's beautiful.
If you look very carefully, can you see his face?
Sure. Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah.
I'll show you that. There.
Oh, yeah, I see over there too.
That's right. In every flower. Oh,
And
wow.
this is before I knew about Baba.
Wow.
And I had called it the gift of light.
Oh my goodness.
I have a very.
Can you please show it again, Inka? Can you please show that again? Can you please show that again?
Yes.
Slowly.
There's
Okay.
Baba.
There's Baba there. Then
Yeah.
how about at the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Quite clear.
And you don't have a consciousness of painting him?
You didn't know about Baba then. Is
No.
that right? So you collected for the
But we all sometimes have a deja vu. And today was and I haven't been able to share this yet with Jan. Today was important for me, and I closed the circle, and somebody wrote to me, Max in fact, made me go onto a page, and I actually realized that Baba planted the first seeds of himself in me in 1975.
Oh.
And I just didn't listen. That's all. And I didn't hear. And we often do this and we cross consciousness. It's not deliberate, but it's just there. Thank you.
And
Fascinating.
When did you know? When were you conscious of Baba?
Well, it's I mean, I've been to Jan's house many, many times for 20 odd years, and I never saw the pictures of Baba, never saw them until I broke my spine. I was very ill. And then I visited with her, and I had a book. She lent me a book by Betty Grant, Surrender Through Consciousness. I can't quite remember the title now, sorry. But then all of a sudden it just burst into my life.
How long ago was that?
About 4 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a late developer.
Well, that seed was latent for a long time.
Yeah, it was.
I just did
Marcia,
this
you have something
recently.
to show. Look what Marcia's got. Talk, Marcia, so we can it'll
Here,
switch over to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Spotlight. Add spotlight.
can you
What?
see that? I was just laughing because
Oh, I see.
it's a
We got-
flower thing, but the Bob is
Oh.
in there, but not as much as yours.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit like Georgia O'Keeffe. Lovely.
Oh gosh, those are beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, Marcia,
That's just
the behind you, it looks like is that your work too? Oh, look.
Yeah, yeah.
Show us
yeah.
Baba face. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh, it's okay.
interrupt your.
I just never show them to anybody, so this is exciting. It's like, right? Yeah. It's just
Oh,
really cool.
I love that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is this just inks, is it?
No,
Ink?
just watercolor. Just
I
plain
see.
watercolor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful face, Marcia. And what is
But I
We
behind?
just
need
been
to do
doing-
a show and tell.
I'm just
Because
trying
Ruthie
to
has
do-
things and Marcia has things. We need to do a show and tell artwork thing. What do you think, Ruthie?
That would be great, really, like for everybody just to bring things that they really like and share. Yeah.
Or maybe if they walk through their homes, you have lovely things on your walls.
I have everything pretty much set. It took me a year to get some from moving in. And the other day I just hung up the final group of paintings that I did, and I never could put them up, and I got those sticky adhesive things. So I actually could put it together. You want to see it? I'll show you.
That's the trouble. The computer's kind of not very portable. I guess
Well, this is an iPad, so, but I don't know if you can see it or not. But I haven't shown this, I never showed these to anybody, and I couldn't put them up because they were supposed to be framed as one, and they're all individual. Can you see it?
Beautiful. Yes.
I can't see the colors terribly well.
Can you
Well, let me
tell
turn on
the
the light.
Ah, yes, I see. Yeah. Okay.
down? Yeah. What is the story, Marcia? Where were you?
I just painted. It was just like I did these little panels, and I was teaching school, and they were having a show from the Great Frame Up, and they said the teachers could submit one piece of work, and I wanted it to be all framed together, but they did them individually. And till this day, till yesterday or the day before, it dawned on me how I could hang them. I got those adhesive velour things, so I could finally put it up after all these years.
Can you show us the top one?
Yeah, it's got a mountain on the top. Wait.
Oh, yeah, the one that with the white in it. I don't know why I'm attracted to that.
And this is the main one down here, but you can't really see it very well.
Yeah, you are just endlessly prolific, Marcia.
Well, this is, I used to do oils, but I'm going to go back to painting big on oils, I think, but it's so toxic, you know. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh, seems like we have at least 3 artists in the room. Jan, Inga, Marcia. Wow.
This is
Max
And Ruthie. And Ruthie is an artist.
Ruthie's great.
And Ruthie definitely. And Max too. Yeah.
This is from India, from the first time I went. I took a photo and painted from that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I really like this one too. This is cool.
Let's see, we're not quite seeing it. A little, yeah, to move to your, you need to move left. No, which one are we looking at? Both of them look interesting. Yeah, you need to move more left, not quite. Now we're seeing it. Yeah, yeah. Ah, wow. Look.
Here's one, Baba, up in the. Can you see it, or is it blocked? Mhm.
Nope, you have it.
Yep.
You have to come back. Left again. There. Oh, and Baba's up in the corner there. Very nice. Wow. Wow.
Okay, this is not about my paintings today. So.
Inka was showing us. You were showing us.
It's,
Yeah, I
it's
interrupted.
the book by, I think, Sharia, who did this by Marla Faith.
Oh, yeah.
And
Ah.
it's a Diver and the Pearl. And it's a story by Meher Baba and Hafiz, art and poetry by Marla Faith. And she invited people to submit paintings or drawings, and this one is mine.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Wow.
Very
Oh.
beautiful. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So
Lovely.
he's
Lovely.
found the pearl. Can you see Baba sort of hidden there?
Okay, yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Baba's hidden, and she's found the pearl, and everybody is trying to grab a hold of the pearl. Yeah.
Is this your painting? Did you do that? It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I like the one next to it too. The other side.
That's one of Marla's, and it's acrylic on canvas. No, by Joe Dis. I can't see.
Di Sabatino.
Oh,
Joe,
wow.
Yeah.
Joe Di Sabatino.
Wow.
Oh my.
Wow, that's beautiful too.
So is this collections of paintings done in her class or around?
No,
No?
just
Oh, okay.
just on I think on a Facebook page.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Yeah. From Riley here.
Oh.
Oh, wow, it's a nice book.
Inga, what's the name of the book, Inga, that by Marla Faith?
The Diver and the Pearl. Just
beautiful reproduction. And is this Marla's cover? The one on the cover?
Yes.
Marla's, yeah.
Yeah. She does absolutely fabulous pencil drawings as well. These are hers.
Oh, wow.
Really tender, lovely drawing.
Is this available at Sharia?
Yes.
Yeah, Diver and the Pearl. Oh, wow. Is that Marla? Oh my gosh.
Well, this whole session wildly exceeded my expectations. Baba has just really done himself proud. It has been so exciting from start to beginning.
Yeah.
Another.
Wow.
Oh gosh. Oh,
beautiful. Her work is lovely.
It is
quite lovely.
So it's Marla. What's her last name? Marla.
Faith.
Marla Faith.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good name.
Oh,
Here's Kippy. Can you see Kippy?
Hi, Kippy.
Where? Now that I.
Here's Kippy. She loves
Oh,
Baba Zoom.
come here, Susie. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Oh, darling.
Oh,
Hi,
here's
baby.
Gidget. Hey,
Oh,
Gidget.
okay.
Did you
it's
woke me
talking
up?
time.
In fact, she's asked supper.
Hey,
So I
Gidget,
have
there's Kippy. Look at Kippy, Gidget.
Mhm.
You see?
Okay,
You
let's see
You
now.
see? They're cute.
There you are.
Oh, Baba,
Oh, what a dear. And yours is, and good. What's your
Tiffy.
Tiffy.
Oh,
Oh, look at, Doxy.
do you know it's
Tiffy
all?
is
Oh,
blind. She
She's
can't
blind?
see out of one eye. She's
Oh.
blind, and she's lovely.
oh,
Aren't
she's
you?
so, she looks so, what is
I
it?
gotta kiss her.
Oh.
I think she thinks there's food on there.
Betty,
she's
do you know
food,
what's up next? Is there anything that we need to pay attention to?
No, I think it's not until Rainey's concert.
Okay, all right.
4:00. Yeah, so we're
Okay.
fine. We can hang out with doggies.
I think Baba put all the people that have artwork and dogs together in one room today.
He liked dogs, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He liked animals. That makes me so
There's a
happy.
book of him, Baba, with all of his animals. Do you have it? I have his book. I found it in the library at Myrtle Beach, and it's got all his lambs and dogs and birds in there.
Baba loved us too. Is Mara would collect the stories. Yeah.
Anyway, I have to love you and leave you. Thank I need to feed two dogs. We've got Tiffy, and then I've got another one who's a wirehead. So okay.
Inga, it's so great to meet you. So great to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
This is well.
We've met before, haven't we? That's Rosalie on a different side. That's right. Nice to meet you. Thank you for your presence. It's lovely.
It's so wonderful to think of you and Jan just there over in England. Do you get together for tea?
No, not too often.
No?
Not, because of lockdown, and I can't get out yet because I am my husband's carer. So he is very vulnerable. Because I'm also an old lady, so you have to be very careful.
You described me perfectly, except that I care you for two. But
Inga.
Goodbye. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Jai Baba, Inga.
I wanted to say it's so strong. I came from the UK meeting of Baba Thurnarina. The fire, women are catching the fire is all I say. Yeah. And I felt that here at this meeting. It's not one person. It's like Baba wants us to express. Yeah. He said we would lead in the West.
Yeah.
Women would lead in the West. And, it's like.
So, Rosalie, did you just hop over here from there just now?
It finished, and I've been on maybe half an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But
little fires everywhere, just like Oregon.
Oh boy.
Well,
good fire.
That's hot.
It's so funny also because your meeting had one man at it.
Yeah.
And the UK one man.
No, that's not true. John was there, John Meyer and Matt.
No, that's at your meeting. I'm saying in the UK also. The UK. Yeah. There was Scott always reads, but there was one guy from Scotland, Richard from Scotland. And I think it's so interesting because, Baba said it would be easier for women to come on to intuition. That's where we're going, and that's what I mean. The fire is being caught, just receiving it and encouraging. And I remember this beautiful Baba lover, Arlene, who is quite, have visions and different things. She was very helpful to me. And Mara appeared to her. She didn't even know Mara had dropped her body. And she appeared behind her and she says, when women help women, then men will see things differently. It's that competition with women that you see, it's in the world, but when women help women, then things will change.
Actually, we have Dinesh with us, so we have one man now. He's hiding.
He's hiding.
Where the heck is Ganesh? Right? When you want him? Where is he, Ganesh?
Dinesh, you have to show your face.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Dinesh.
Wow.
Wow. Oh. You pop up to meetings.
I was
Mumbai.
He's got to keep his mask on. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a lovely meeting. Wow. A lot of poetry, a lot of art. Yeah. Huh. I wonder if we could think about, is it the artist's view, Gail, that's going, that's need, they're looking for new, somebody to lead it. Is that right? Do you know about that, Gail? I think it's a once a month meeting, and it's
it's Tuesday night. The artist view.
It's
Ellen.
once a month. It's once a month.
Yeah, this woman Ellen.
Mary
she,
Ellen, or yeah,
yes,
right.
She stepped back. She didn't want to do it any longer. Yeah, but yeah, I liked it. Yeah. They'd have any kind of artist. Ed Teen on there one time, you know, just every art form, you know, because I'm definitely an artist, you know. I mean, it's like that's my expression, and that's it. However it comes, and I'm feeling that humor in this Advent has to come a little more to life, because Baba brings tremendous humor, and I don't think it's been availed of. You know, no, it's. I mean, people are a little too dead serious, and you know, it's like you can't be dead serious. You have to make this quantum leap from, you know, reason to intuition. You know, it's like a quantum leap. You know.
It relieved Baba's suffering too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he was so playful, so playful. He said he was like a child with humans. He's a human. He's a child, and there's this one account of him meeting someone, and the person was expecting, you know, this God in human form. And he saw this child. He saw Baba as a child when he came in. Saw Baba as a child. And he was totally disarmed, you know, that, and, you know, not just a child, but like a fresh, delightful child. Not a spoiled child, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
they say he smelled like a baby. People.
Yeah.
You looking for coffee? Yeah. Well, it's probably time to wind it up.
Do we have coffee?
Yeah, I'll come get it. Yeah. This is my.
It's so funny. That's Baba's flag upside down. The beach thing there. And, yeah, but it's interesting. Baba always has the last word, because the sky blue is behind it. Baba said the sky blue has to always be on the top.
Don't forget to plug it back in.
I will. Okay, folks, you know what? I think this is my sign. I need to leave.
Yeah, he's coming out.
You can hang around, but I won't be in the meeting.
Oh, I've got stuff to do too. Good seeing all of you.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba, everyone.
Hi, Diane and Cherry hiding behind your picture. Bye-bye.